We have some really big news this evening. Sources have told Midas Touch in an exclusive report that the White House plans on shutting down portions of the I-5 highway in California for Vice President J.D. Vance's Marine Corps spectacle during No King's Day protests this weekend, triggering chaos, gridlock, and outrage as troops are going unpaid during the government shutdown. So Midas Touch is now learning that from several sources that the White House has planned to close major sections of Interstate 5 this Friday and Saturday. It's also preparing plans for 2 days of events under the pretext of the 250th anniversary of the U.S. Marine Corps. It's being described as, quote, a vanity parade that may involve Navy warships even shooting live projectiles into Camp Pendleton as a, quote, show of force. J.D. Vance is expected to be present and intends on leading this parade. Now, Governor Gavin Newsom's office has confirmed that, quote, the governor is working with local partners to minimize what would be a massive disruption and reckless disregard for California's infrastructure and communities. As we get more information, obviously I'll let you know, but this is very serious, so spread the word and follow along for more.
If you didn't know, there will be another No Kings protest on October 18th, and that's going to be state motherfucking wide. Send this to your friends and family so they motherfucking know exactly where to go and how to show up, specifically if you're in San Francisco, baby. Now, state to state, I don't know the times, and I don't know the places, and I don't know the meetup spots, so you're gonna have to Google and research and find on TikTok depending on what state you live in. I live in California, and specifically in San Francisco, so our No Kings protest will be off of Embarcadero at 2 p.m. And this is Saturday, October 18th at 2 p.m. on the Embarcadero Plaza. That is where everybody is meeting up. Bring your flags, bring your shirts, bring your dogs, bring your kids, bring everybody who you motherfucking know. I don't care if you gotta call out and get a write-up to be outside to protest for your people, your rights against this minimum motherfucking straight shit. If you missed the first No Kings protest, you better be out there on this No Kings protest, baby, because you got a lot of groundwork to make up for. Again, depending on your state and depending on your city, it might be a different time and it might be in a completely different place. So make sure you do the research so you can show up and do your part.
You guys, they are scared to death.
And October 18th is when the protest gets here. This will be a Soros paid-for protest where his professional protesters show up, the agitators show up. We'll have to get the National Guard out. Hopefully it'll be peaceful. I doubt it.
Also, if the rest of you are getting paid, can you let me in on this? Because I'm out here protesting for free like an idiot. I did, however, get my Antifa kit in the mail the other day, so that was nice. But on a more serious note, we can tell they are looking for any excuse at all to call in the National Guard. So we're not going to give them that excuse. We are exercising our First Amendment rights to peaceful protest and peaceful assembly. Me, I love to sing. So last No King's Day, I had a megaphone and I was out there on the side of the road singing all the patriotic songs that I know and love, along with Do You Hear the People Sing from Les Mis? And I plan on doing the same thing again. If you're at the protest in Tulsa and you also love to sing, come find me. I'm looking for some harmonizing buddies.
Listen to what the Speaker of the House just said about Americans planning to protest on October 18th. Listen to every word.
You know, I'm a very patient guy, but I have had it with these people. They're playing games with real people's lives. The theory we have right now, they have a Hate America rally that's scheduled for October 18th on the National Mall. It's all the pro-Hamas wing and the Antifa people. They're all coming out.
The Speaker of the House is openly declaring that Americans exercising their First Amendment rights are these people that he's had it with, and basically labeling them as pro-Hamas and Antifa terrorists before they've even gathered. And notice the timing. This comes just 2 days after the Antifa roundtable.
No more. They are a terrorist group and we are coming after them.
They literally held a political strategy session to frame dissent as domestic terrorism, and now they're deploying that exact playbook in real time. Let's be clear, Antifa is not an organization. There's no membership, no hierarchy, no leadership structure. It's a political boogeyman they've been wielding since January 6th. Remember when they immediately blamed Antifa for the Capitol attack?
They were masquerading as Trump supporters and in fact were members of the violent terrorist group Antifa.
Remember when cities were supposedly destroyed by Antifa? So here's the question, where are they? If Antifa is this massive terrorist threat that's been attacking America for years, where are the arrests, the prosecutions, the actual evidence? They control Congress. They have the White House. Why haven't they produced a single Antifa member to justify all of this fear-mongering? because it's not real. It's a label they slap on any dissent they want to criminalize. And here's what should really disturb you. Antifa is short for anti-fascist. We all fought a world war to defeat fascism. Our grandparents were anti-fascist. Being against fascism, opposing authoritarian government, defending democratic rights, resisting tyranny, that's supposed to be a core American value. And when politicians turn anti-fascist into a slur, when they make opposing fascism seem un-American, they're not protecting the country. They're conditioning you to accept authoritarian rule. They're making you afraid to stand up for democratic principles. That's not patriotism. That's the opposite. This is textbook authoritarian rhetoric. Create a phantom enemy, conflate all opposition with that enemy, then use it to justify crushing rights. Whether you agree with these protesters or not, this should terrify you. Today, it's a rally he opposes. Tomorrow could be yours. When leaders systematically brand lawful dissent as terrorism without evidence, without due process, without even wanting for it to happen, everyone's rights are at risk. Wake up. This is happening right in front of us.
No King's Day is on the 18th of October. And let me tell you, America is going to boil. It's going to boil that day. Anyways, America is at a boiling point already. From the No King's Day protests to the chaos in the streets, people are angry, divided, and ready to fight back. What if I told you that this isn't just another protest? This might be the beginning of something much bigger. Another American rebellion. Yeah, you heard me right. An insurrection, not just against American government, but against the illusion of freedom. The No King's Day protest as a statement, right? A rejection of control, corruption, and political allies or political lies. People are tired of feeling rude, tired of the system that don't work, leaders who don't listen, and elites who live above the law. They are saying we don't need kings. We need accountability. But what began as a peaceful anger is quickly turning into an organized chaos, and America is ready for it. Please let's keep watching these videos, and then I'll be back with the continuation of this beautiful story that is going to be yet shocking. Do not forget to subscribe and watch this video to the end. Credit to the creators. I'm here with you.
Frumpy is going to use the Insurrection Act on No King's Day. It's the perfect day to use the Insurrection Act to call for martial law. Everybody that's protesting this man and marching in those streets on October 18th will be seen as Antifa. I was thinking about that shit all yesterday, how close he is to getting the chance to enact the Insurrection Act. And No King's Day, which they're calling non-American Day. People protesting against America. America's supposed to be free. We're not supposed to have kings. So it's kind of counterproductive. But they're going to use that day. He's going to use that day to try to invoke the Insurrection Act. I feel like he's going to put people in places inside of those crowds to start shit and to make it turn violent and reckless. I do not put it past this man to use the day that people are marching against fascism, against authoritarianism, against a fucked up administration that doesn't give a shit about its people, against an administration that is cutting healthcare, cutting education, cutting access to anything and everything to help the American people as a way to gain full control of the United States of America. I mean, he already has everything in place. He's put all his little minions in every place in the administration to control everyone. ICE is the largest department we have now, and they're all loyal to him for a buck. I ask y'all to stay safe. And if you see somebody inciting that shit, shut them down. Don't let it get out of hand. Don't give this man nothing. He already knows he's not going to heaven. So why not set shit off before you leave?
Well, in case you are not aware, there is another No Kings protest across the country planned for this upcoming Saturday, October 18th. And if you plan to be in attendance, there are a couple things you should know. Number one, the Trump administration is circulating this idea that the No Kings protest is going to be a hotbed of Antifa activity. Antifa, if you don't know, stands for anti-fascist, and the Trump administration has designated them a terrorist organization. There's only one problem with that, though. Antifa is not a group, it's not a club, it has no members or membership. It's an ideology. You know what is a group, though? The KKK, the Klan, the Proud Boys, Turning Point USA, the Groypers. They're a group. But anyway, I digress. The fact that the Trump administration is going out of their way to designate Antifa as a terrorist organization, despite not being an organization at all, should tell you that they're using it as an umbrella term to harass and detain anyone they don't agree with. And the fact that the administration, like I said before, is trying to circulate this idea that the protest is going to be a hotbed for Antifa activity should let you know exactly the kind of timing they on. So if you're going to attend, here's some things you should probably do. Number one, do not bring your phone or any electronic device that can be tracked. No iPhone, no Fitbit, no Samsung, no Android, no Pixel, no Apple Watch, nothing. You're finna be out there like it's 1995. Don't bring nothing with you. If you absolutely must have it on your person, you are going to go on Amazon.com and buy what is known as a Faraday pouch. This is going to be a bag that you can carry with you, small bag, that will block any incoming and outgoing signals from any devices placed inside of it. Makes it that much harder to track. Second thing you're going to do, right? If you're going to be out there, do not be out there plain face. No, we all have disdain for these YNs, but they had the right idea with these shiesties. You're going to get a shiesty and mask the fuck up. You feel what I'm saying to you? The name of the game here, right, is to restrict all the different ways you can be tracked simply by being present. Because trust me when I say they will be tracking you. I also saw a video from Corn Pop about 2 hours ago talking about how they're going to be at this protest across the country doing retinal scans from afar. So go ahead. Throw some glasses in there also. Again, the name of the game is to restrict all the different ways you can be identified from afar simply by being present at a protest you have every right to be at. Don't give these people any ammunition to hem you up. And last but not least, if you're going to go to this protest, keep your head on a fucking swivel, all right? There's going to be agitators. This ICE is going to be present. I guarantee it. Do not tangle with these folks. Dip out at the first sign of trouble. I'm trying to tell you, because they're trying to use any and every incident that might pop off at any one of these protests across the country as justification to unleash the hounds, all right? So don't give them any reasons. Don't bring your phone. If you have to, bring a Faraday pouch, mask up, put the glasses on, and be safe, all right? Take care.
So as some of you guys know, I am our safety lead for an upcoming event that we have on October 18th. And by our host, I was sent a press release that was sent out yesterday that says that we are now at over 2,500 events scheduled for this upcoming Saturday for the No Kings Day rallies. You can go onto the nokings.org website in order to find an interactive map that has all 2,500 of these events that are scheduled across all 50 states on that map, so you can see which protests are local to you, so you know which one you can go to. The press release went on to say that the No Kings organization is currently building off the momentum that they had from June 14th, where they had over 2,000 protests and over 5 million people attend across the United States, and in the couple protests they had internationally outside of the U.S. There's also dozens of organizations that are currently partnered with No Kings that are attempting to help promote all of these events. Just yesterday morning, Politico reported that the Home of the Brave organization is launching a $1 million ad campaign across the U.S. to advertise some of the events that are going on, either in national news, state news, or local newspapers, in order to get out people to go and protest what the current administration is doing in the regime that they're attempting to create. They also have organizations like the American Civil Liberty Union, ACLU. They have the American Federation of Teachers, Common Defense, 5051, the HRC, Indivisible, Move On, National Nurses United, Public Citizen, SEIU, United We Dream, and more. Now, all of these events are considered nonpartisan and will be nonviolent. All of the hosts and safety leads all had to agree to maintain a nonpartisan and nonviolent event. Now, because of this, it means that even if you are someone who potentially voted for the current administration in November, but you do not like the way that things are going and you are regretting what you did, you're not going to be hated on for going to this event for what you believed at one point, as long as you are attempting to actively make a change and get out to help get us potentially to that 3.5% rule, which is historically what is needed in a population in order to affect actual change. If you have any questions about any of the No Kings Day protests or need help finding the website to go and find your local one, or if you're needing help just finding one on the website, be sure to reach out to me. You can either reach out in the comments or you can private message me. As always, make sure to stay safe. Have a buddy with you when you go to protest, as one, it helps increase numbers, and also means that you know someone when you are going there and someone that you can keep in contact with. If you're going to a bigger protest in an area that potentially the National Guard or the police will not be kind to you, be sure to turn off your phone or activate airplane mode, because police will use their own cell towers to gain access to all of your information on your phone, and you do not want that to be happening to you. So make sure that if you fear that the police may be doing something like that and may be trying to access your phone remotely, make sure to turn on airplane mode, turn off your phone, leave your phone at home. If you don't need it, don't bring it.
October 18th is the No Kings Day protest. It's going to be the single largest protest in American history. Here's what Mike Johnson thinks about it.
And many of you have reported already, this Hate America rally that they have coming up for October 18th, the Antifa crowd and the pro-Hamas crowd and the Marxists.
Mike Johnson just called millions of us pro-Hamas, anti-American, Antifa. Well, let's take a look at what Mike Johnson said about calming the rhetoric down just a week ago.
You can't call the other side fascists and enemies of the state.
Let's just be clear about what it is. Mike Johnson wants to call you un-American. He wants to call you pro-Hamas. He wants to call you Antifa. But when the shoe's on the other foot and you call him the fascist that he is, when you say that he's a Grindr account user and then hides it because he's embarrassed of who he is as a person because of the way he was raised in an ultra-Christian family, oh, then that's, oh my God, you people are insane, you're so horrible. Well, why don't you all join me in Lexington, Kentucky? I'll be there all day at the No Kings Day protest. This is the information for it. There's a protest in your town and everyone should go. Let's show Mike Johnson what America really looks like.
A leak per Ken Klippenstein, the independent journalist, says that the FBI views the No Kings protests that are supposed to happen on Saturday, October 18th, as potential hotbeds for anti-fascist demonstrators, which is their way, per the National Security Presidential Memorandum 7, of saying we view all of you as potential domestic terrorists. So if you're going to go, I would say consider how worthwhile it might be for you to potentially not bring a phone or anything that has a tracking device, wear a whole from nose down covering of any type of your choosing, maybe wear some dark eyeglasses, because we know retinal scanning is a thing that can happen at much greater distances than you're comfortable with. And I would also consider, I would pose to your consideration this question. If they're going to label senior citizens on Medicare holding signs that say Drumpf as potential domestic terrorists, then what exactly is there to lose at this point in the country?
You need to be careful. This Saturday, October 18, 2025, another No Kings protest is scheduled to happen across the U.S. There are going to be a lot of idiots marching around protesting no kings, no dictators, which is ironic, because these people wouldn't know a dictator if it slapped a mask on them. These people wouldn't know a dictator if he locked them in their houses for months on end. These people wouldn't know a dictator if he mandated that they have to get a vaccine in order to participate in public life. But like I said, you need to be careful. Especially if you're an American patriot, especially if you're conservative, especially if you want to make this country great again. Because these people, if they see you, might try to get in your face. So, at least here in Arizona, you can protect yourself. And should you fear for your life, you better stay strapped. In Arizona, we love our Second Amendment, and we have constitutional carry here, constitutional concealed carry, whatever you may choose. So to my real Americans, be careful this weekend, stay strapped, and God bless.
Baby, would you take a look at this map? I pulled this map off of the No Kings website. As many of you know, Saturday, October the 18th, there will be the No Kings protests all over the U.S. I assume maybe some outside of the U.S. as well. And from what I'm hearing, the Republicans are not feeling too good about this. They have some major concerns. And when I looked at this map, I said, well, dang, I would have some concerns too, because this will be millions of people that are protesting against him. And yeah, I'm still saying that he didn't win. I don't care what no one says. But to have this many events going on I'm sure it's going to be a record amount of people that are out there that are going to be protesting. I can't wait to see it.
I'm taking back what I said about feeling apathetic about No King's Day because they're scared about it. Look at this.
Questions, but we've heard, and many of you have reported already, this Hate America rally that they have coming up for October 18th, the Antifa crowd and the pro-Hamas crowd and the Marxists, they're all going to gather on the mall. We got some House Democrats
we're gonna gather everywhere.
selling T-shirts for this event. It is an outrageous gathering for outrageous purposes, but the Democrats in the Senate have shown that they're afraid of that crowd. That they don't want to bow.
Oh, no, you're afraid.
They want to bow to them, bow the knee to them, and they don't want to take incoming from them. And so they're willing to hold the American people hostage so that they don't have to face an angry mob that's a big chunk of their base. Now, if that's a rumor, they need to come out and clarify that it's not, but that is what we are hearing is their actual motivation, and it is outrageous. All this has got to come to an end.
Why is he wearing children's eyeglasses? Anyway, what does he mean this needs to come to an end? Protest? Our ability to protest? Is that what he means? That's probably what he means. Yeah, we need to show the fuck up.
6 million people are expected to march in the No King's Day demonstrations on October the 18th. Will they make a difference? Or a protest just a futile waste of time? Well, pack your bags, pal, because I have some facts you're going to want to know. And if you like getting to know how your country works one microbyte at a time, follow America the Possible, tap the like button, and share this video. Okay, here's your answer. What politicians care about most is getting elected. And when the people finally decide that enough is enough and a million of us take to the streets in protests, politicians listen. Beginning with the Boston Tea Party, protests have been the main driving force behind change in America. Women marched to get the vote, and millions marched with Martin Luther King. It was people marching that got us out of Vietnam. Child labor laws, the 40-hour work week, the right to unionize, protection for people with disabilities, LGBTQ rights, and the Clean Air Act. And I could go on forever, but I think you get the point. So, start painting your signs. Get out your walking shoes. October 18th is just around the corner.
Hey guys, just in case you didn't see this, I think it's important for you to watch, okay? So I'm going to show you something real quick, and then we're going to talk about it for a little bit, all right? But this is how Republicans right now are basically trying to frame the No King's Day 2.0 that's coming up on the 18th of this month. Take a look at this.
One thing, and one thing only, to score political points with the terrorist wing of their party, which is set to hold, as Leader Scalise just commented on, a Hate America rally in D.C. next week. This
is the attempt of the Republican Party that is basically trying to weaponize and make an enemy out of every single protester in America. That's pretty scary. But at the same time, I feel like it's not really something that's going to actually work. We're talking about millions of people that are going to be standing up and going to be marching across the country. Actually, from what I understand, there's actually even going to be other countries that are following us and doing it as well. And they're trying to basically call millions of people radicalized. And that's not what this is.
If you're planning on going to the No Kings protest, there's a couple of things you need to know. First, just to summarize, the FBI had an internal memo leaked saying that they view anyone who's attending the protest this weekend as a potential anti-fascist organizer, and according to Donald Trump's new DHS guidelines, that means they view you as a potential domestic terrorist, so just keep that in mind. Do not let that scare you out of going to the protest. That's why they intentionally leaked that memo, was to try and scare you out of it, because they don't want this protest to be as big as the last No Kings, because that hurt Donald Trump's ego. That being said, usual protest rules apply. You're going to want to stick to what's called the gray man method. The whole point of the gray man method is to make yourself as unnoticeable in a crowd as humanly possible. It means if you have colored hair, dye it back to normal or cover it up. If you have tattoos, cover them up. If you don't, wear fake tattoo sleeves. Get rid of those fake tattoo sleeves after you leave the protest. Throw them in the trash away from your house. Wear black, featureless clothing that has no designs or patterns. Get yourself a cheap pair of shoes that you can throw away after the protest. Again, don't throw them away at your own house, throw them away somewhere else. For the love of God, do not take your phone with you to the protest. If you need to let someone know where you're going to be, tell them in person beforehand. Do not text them that you're going to be at the protest. Do not call them to tell them you're going to be at the protest. Tell them face to face, and then leave your phone at home. I turned off location data on my phone. Cool. cool. The stuff that you're able to turn off isn't the stuff that the police are going to look at. You're going to look at the part of the location data tracking that shows whether or not you were at the protest, which you do not have the ability to switch off. Do not take photos at the protest. Do not take videos at the protest. Do not post online about the protest. Do not talk about who else is at the protest. You are going to a protest, it should not be to brag about it to other people, so keep your mouth shut. If you're worried about people recognizing your face, dress in a COVID mask and sunglasses or a balaclava. Just be safe, get out there, exercise your First Amendment right.
What are you guys putting on your signs for Saturday for No King's Day? I need inspo, and I'm sure there's other people that need inspo, so if you have a great idea, comment it below, and then if you need ideas, you can look in the comments, and then you can see them. So I'm talking about Saturday, October 18th, No King's Day. There's one near you. It doesn't matter where you live. They're scared about it. I commented on this originally saying, like, what good is it going to do? We're going to, walk around peacefully, but they're nervous about it. They're worried because they're talking about it on all the news outlets, and they're trying to project it as something totally opposite from what it is. They're trying to say that we're all going to get paid for being there. Like, if anybody knows how I can get paid, let me know. But they're going to try to make it into something it's not. And I don't want that to deter people from going. I think everyone that can go should go. The more people that show up, the bigger it is. There's no way that they'll be able to pretend that it wasn't what it was if it's fucking crazy huge. If it's the biggest protest that's ever happened in the United States, there's no way they can deny that. They'll try, but they won't be able to. So we need to show up.
Okay, since we all know that No King's Day is like 35 seconds away, and we definitely all know that Trump is out here trying to use any kind of behavior to justify the Insurrection Act. So I don't know if you guys have seen this video. Most people probably have. Let me just play.
Clear in your instructions. These peaceful protesters are exercising their First Amendment right. They do not understand.
Okay, and if you're like me, you watched that and you were like, damn, I wish I knew what he was saying. So I went through and just like played it, typed it out, whatever. And I just put it in a Word document. So you can go over there and copy and paste it. If you just go to askrafaela.com, which forwards to my Linktree page, I think it's like the fourth link down. It says Unviolent De-Escalation Speech for Protesters. Copy it, put it in your phone, share it with your friends, because we need to be as nonviolent and professional as possible. That man is a lawyer, by the way. He's not like some random Joe. Even if he were, it's still great advice. I had to film this because what he was saying was so on point, and I want to make sure that we have something to reference so you can hand it over to the person that's in the crowd that has the bullhorn. This is so great. I wish I could give this man a high five.
Everyone who's going to No Kings on Saturday should start off by doing this, because you can do it from the comfort of your own home. It's an act of resistance brought to you by the People's Sick Day. If you are not aware, those contest machines, Dominion, yeah, we need to talk about that. So those contest machines were sold and rebranded under the name Liberty Vote, and the new owner is former GOP election official from St. Louis, Scott Leindecker. That is not okay. That should sound a lot of alarm bells. That is not okay. Apparently they thought if they do a rebrand that we wouldn't notice. We noticed, and we're not going to let it slide. We all know what they're trying to do. So this act of resistance that you can do from your home that can get you all hyped up and ready for No Kings is simple. You're going to Google the Board of Elections in your state and in your county, okay? State and county. You are going to call and email them and say, are you planning to use Liberty Vote contest machines? Yes or no? Their answer should be no. Why? Because we want free and fair contests. Make sure they are not using it, and make sure they understand why it's so important that they don't use it. And don't stop there. Make sure you're also calling your representatives, Congress people, everyone, especially if you're in a red state, Make sure you are not complying in advance. Use your voices. You can use your voice on a phone call, email, both, anything that we can all do. We have seen that we are really good in numbers. When we work together, we are unstoppable. We've watched it happen time and time again. We are about to have one of the largest music festivals this weekend. Okay? We can do this. We need to make sure our contests are free and fair. Point blank, period. This is your resistance. Go forth.
House Majority Whip Tom Emmer is trying to claim the Democrats are keeping the government shut down because of the No Kings protests. And he also, of course, calls it the Hate America rally, saying only a small percentage of people agree with it. Look at this.
To continue this shutdown for what? for a Hate America rally that's taking place in the mall on Saturday, Maria. This is ridiculous. These guys are playing to the most radical, small, and violent base in the country. You'll see them on Saturday on the mall. They just do not love this country.
The No Kings protest, which over 10 million people are going to participate in worldwide, has nothing to do with hating America. It's about rejecting authoritarianism, corruption, and the growing abuse of power in the United States. But instead of actually listening to what millions of people are protesting for, Republican leaders want to demonize them and call them a small, radical group. Standing up for democracy and exercising your right to protest is about the most American thing you can possibly do. This movement is about saving the country from leaders who think all the power belongs to them and not the people. It's a demand for accountability, equality, and real representation, not blind loyalty to one man. Emmer's comments are especially hypocritical when you think about how many people on his side defended the January 6th insurrection at our nation's capital. To call peaceful protesters violent for demanding freedom from political corruption is pure projection. They're twisting patriotism into obedience as if loving your country means you never question the government.
Welcome back. In history, right, if history repeats itself, No King's Day could mark the start of a new political era. America was built on rebellion, and maybe it's heading for another one. But this time, the people aren't fighting a king in England. They are fighting the kings in power right here. And the question is, will this movement bring change, or will it burn everything down? We'll see. We'll see. It's just a few days to the King's Day, so be good, my people. Stay well. Do not fight. Peaceful protest. Everything will be fine, and everything will go well. Right? Do not always forget to come subscribe, like, share this video, and tell me your views and thoughts in the comments. Right? I remain your sister, your friend, Blessing on Global Gist with Beejay. I'll see you on the next time. Thank you so much.